Good evening, I'm Ian Pascoe, your economic meteorologist for Grant Thornton. Well, now we're well into the second half of 2021 and many had expected that the economic storm that has been raging over Thailand for the past year and a half to have passed by now. Unfortunately, that's not the case. The forecast calls for cloudy skies and showers over most sectors, with only a little bit of sunshine in some areas. If we look at the south of Thailand, we can see that the tourism sector is still in for some rough weather. If we zoom into Phuket, we can see that as of mid-August, only about 21,000 tourists had arrived as part of the sandbox scheme. A recent rise in COVID infections on the island will further jeopardise the success of this scheme. Despite the ongoing third wave, Thailand still plans to open the rest of the country to vaccinated tourists in mid-October. The Tourism Authority is forecasting that 1.2 million tourists will visit in 2021. The National Economic Social Development Council, on the other hand, has a much more conservative projection of only 150,000. In either case, it's a far cry from the nearly 40 million tourists that visited in 2019. The aviation sector is also seeing lots of turbulence. All major airlines saw massive first half losses and are expecting only marginal improvements in the second half, especially if this ongoing domestic flight ban continues for much longer. As we move up to the eastern seaboard, we can see storm clouds gathering above the manufacturing sector. In recent months, this was one of the few bright spots for the Thai economy, with the manufacturing production index climbing steadily throughout the first half of the year. Automobile production has also looked to be in good shape, but now that we're seeing a spike of COVID infections in factories, production will be slowing down. Heading up to the north and the northeast, we are seeing some sunshine here. Fresh fruit exports rose by over 42% in the first half. This is compared to the abysmal numbers of 2020, but the positive trend still seems likely to continue, at least in the short term. Rice exports are also expected to continue increasing for the rest of the year, helped along by the weakening baht and relatively low prices. We may see clouds start to gather if the spread of COVID isn't contained, but for now, we can expect the sun to keep shining. Moving to Bangkok, the entertainment, retail, restaurants and real estate are all being battered by heavy thunderstorms, and the storm won't start clearing until infections are brought under control and restrictions are lifted. Unsurprisingly, healthcare, medical equipment, food delivery and e-commerce are all performing very well. But that's a symptom of the storm continuing rather than breaking. If there's one silver lining, it's that companies across sectors are now increasingly focusing on digitalisation and sustainability. This is good news for the long term, but in the medium term, the only way out of the storm is mass vaccinations. In the meantime, if your business needs help weathering the storm and finding areas of growth, Grant Thornton, we're here to help.